story time in a long time, but I had something on my mind. I ran into somebody that I hadn't seen in years, and when I say years, it was my boyfriend when I was 15. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm very far from 15 now, baby. So it was a long time ago. But and it had me thinking. Running into him had me remembering why we broke up and how silly we can be, how silly people can just be. Okay, so children can be silly because obviously, like I said, I was a child. But additionally, a lot of us don't grow out of this kind of silliness. We don't grow out of sometimes choosing what's best for us or better for us over choosing what's exciting or what we think might help our image, or what we think other people might be more comfortable with seeing us we are. Now, I won't even say help our image. What we think, you know, in a way of vanity, we supposed to be with in order to, you know, show off in front of people in their opinions of who we with, right? Or we like playing and laying in a bed with the devil too much, because that can feel more interesting, you know, drama and just tension and pettiness and toxicity. And when you really think about the word toxic is something that's toxic. It's something that is not good for you, to the point that it can influence your livelihood. It can have an impact on your health and life or death. Toxic means that it could kill you. And we go for stuff like that sometimes. Just silly, just That's how we know Holy Spirit ain't guiding us. When we make those kind of decisions, that's how we know it ain't God. We know God ain't sending that person to us. Anyway, but again, like I was saying, I was a child, but like I'm also saying, the sad part is that a lot of times people don't grow out of that childish behavior, and it's detrimental to their health, it's detrimental to their life, it's detrimental to their happiness, it's detrimental to the caliber of self and life that the Lord wants to give to a person. But anyway, so this little story, okay, so there was a person in my life that I really love. If y'all have seen a previous video of mine, I was speaking about how I won't say I used to be like a guy magnet, and I don't mean it in that way. I mean it in the way of friends. Like, for whatever reason, I could get along with men very easily, and that would put me in a position where I would have a lot of male friends. So there was a friend that he was a little older than me. He used to put me down with his friends. Like, this time he ended up, you know, linking me up with this one guy, and me and the guy liked each other. So eventually the guy became my boyfriend, right? He was so sweet, y'all. He was so sweet, nice and sweet. And I met his parents. Well, did I meet his dad? I know I met his mom and, you know, his sister. Like, so like, dating as a little teenager can go one or two ways. Either you have to meet their parents because y'all kids, you have to be around their family, or you having boyfriends, girlfriends in secret because your parents, one of y'all parents don't want you to have a boyfriend, girlfriend at that age. So like, but there's no other reason for you to be meeting family because y'all not getting engaged or married. Like, it's a teenage relationship, right? So either you don't know their family at all, or the only reason why you know their family is because y'all kids, and it's like, my parents have to know you. Like, we can't go on a date or nothing, you know what I'm saying? Because they have to be in my business because I'm a kid, right? Anyway, so, and I said all that because, you know, I don't know, just extra information of why I knew like some of his family members, even though we were like just dating, you know, going together as teenagers or whatever. But anyway, he was so nice, y'all. And this is so sad. And like, I saw him today and I was just like, oh, there goes what you call it. He didn't speak to me. I didn't make myself known. But again, like, I mean, I know he saw me. And like I told y'all before too, I'm a speaker. I speak to strangers. You know, if you saw me and I didn't speak to you, it was either because A, you made it awkward because you had already seen me and looked away from me like you didn't see me, and so I was just like, okay, that's what we on. Or B, I actually didn't see you. Sometimes I be looking at people and I be completely in my head and I gaze through people. That happens sometimes, especially if I'm there at a work event, which I was. Or C, speaking of work events, there is a third option. I have met you, and it might take me about 3 times to meet you before I remember you. And I don't know if that sounds crazy, but the reality is, you know, again, with my work, I just meet so many people. I just really interface with a lot of people, and I don't be remembering everybody because of the volume of people that I come in contact with. So anyway, but the other thing about me is that I'm not trying to say I'm unforgettable, but as far as recognition goes, I look very, I'll just say specific. I look very specific. You know, I'm gonna just leave it at that. So for someone to say they didn't recognize, for me to feel like somebody didn't recognize me, even after a bunch of years, you know, I don't look much different than I did all them years ago when I was 15. I honestly don't look much different. Of course, you mature. Of course, I done gained weight. Of course, you know, my hair might be different than I used to wear back then. But some of my specific features, I have specific features that it's like, I'm just kind of hard to miss. I said all that to say that he saw me, but, and I know he knew who I was, but he might have been embarrassed because of how I broke up with him, y'all. And I'm embarrassed. If he was embarrassed, he shouldn't have been embarrassed. I'm embarrassed because I broke up with this man for nothing, for absolutely nothing. He was too nice to me. And I didn't grow up in some traumatic household where it's like I'm looking for the drama that I had in my house to make me feel comfortable. Like, it's not none of that psychological stuff. Like, maybe the psychology of it all is that my household was too peaceful, and I'm psychologically looking for a something counter to what I've grown up in. Maybe that's why I couldn't deal with the niceness. A lot of people can't deal with things that are healthy because they're so broken and unhealthy. Again, I did have broken parts in me as a 14-year-old. 15-year-old. I had gone through something, not at the hands of my family or anything like that, but perhaps that has something to do with it. Now, I never considered that before, but now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of makes a little bit more sense that maybe that has something to do with it. But at the end of the day, like, this young man didn't have much. All he wanted was my time, and I had that, obviously. All he wanted was kisses. Even as, like I said, he was a little bit older, but even at that, you know, we're both teenagers. He never came at me sideways. He was so respectful. He was always so respectful, and I didn't want it. After a while, I just felt like it was corny. It felt corny, and I'm just disgusted by the thought of that now. Like, I want my man to be corny now. I want my man to dote on me. I don't want nothing that's gonna make my these little wrinkles that done started popping out in my forehead. I don't want nothing that's gonna make that come out. Give me the corniest, lovey-doveyest. Give me the, you know what I'm saying? Whatever we can do together, we finna do that jump together. If that's what you want, like, that's what I'm on now. That you learn better, you know better, you do better. But anyway, just ridiculous we can be. Again, I'm telling you this story as me being a 15-year-old, but it's some 30, 40, 50-year-olds who do the same thing. The person is not dramaed out enough for you. The person is not being toxic enough for you, so you don't want them. That person that person reflects God too much. That person looks too much like Christ for you. You can't deal with it. That is ridiculous. Satan has taken over your love life. In real life, he has. And again, no condemnation. I will say the last time I remember doing something like that, I was like 21. And I haven't done that since. Like, nice guy me, please. Nice guy me, please. But anyway, what else? And then, like, the trash I went to after that was just remarkable. So yeah, I was 15. My boyfriend that I had during my 16-year-old period, that's another story for another day, because he gets bad. I can't even, I'm gonna say that stuff another day. All right, y'all, that's all I got. It wasn't really a real story, but it's something to relate to, guys. We got to do better. If you're still in that space, tell Satan to let the reins go off of your love life so you can get something godly, that what God wants for you. Somebody nice and good and loving and kind and reflects the fruits of the Spirit.